Y'all, it's here. It's finally here. I got it in the mail. So I say we crack this baby open and review the new Blue Bottle Coffee collaboration with Nespresso in their Virtua line. But before we do so, thank you guys so much again for tuning in, for being patient while I waited the package, and please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you really enjoy my content. First, I want to let you guys know that I always really try to like not read the description and not taste the pod, smell the pod, brew the pod, etc. Before reviewing it with y'all, because I do want your guys' to see my raw reaction of the pod when I'm rating and reviewing it. I think it's only fair to y'all. So with that being said, I really have not read like anything about this pod before purchasing it. I just knew it was new and I was like, gotta review it for y'all. So I could not tell you why this pod is different than the Blue Bottle collaboration pod released a few months ago with Nespresso in their Virtua line. That was the 5-ounce Grand Lungo version. The only thing I remember about tasting and reviewing that pod is that it was a very light roasted pod. Almost tasted like an 8-ounce like brewed coffee that was in a 5-ounce Grand Lungo form, which I know for me kind of threw me off because I'm so used to the Grand Lungos in the Virtua line being so like strong, almost tasting like an espresso shot just with a little bit more coffee volume. Like Furtado, Costa Rica, even Ethiopia, the ones that I really enjoy, all kind of like pack that punch like an espresso shot. So I remember that the Blue Bottle Coffee collaboration Grand Lungo was definitely really light, and it was again kind of like a regular brewed coffee that was just in a shorter coffee volume. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, but I do remember it being fruity, a little bit jammy, and just overall really light and very good and pleasant to drink on its own. I just felt like I was wanting, at least at that point in time, a little bit more oomph and punch to the Grand Lungo that they released with the Blue Bottle Coffee collaboration. So with that being said, with how similar it was to the 8-ounce cup of coffee, typically, I think that I have a feeling that these are kind of going to taste the same. That's just me in my heart of hearts. I have no idea. And they both kind of have the same name. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I feel like the Grand Lungo was also called like #1 blend or something. Granted, this is #1 single origin, I believe. I don't know if that one went by single origin as well, but #1 single origin for the 8-ounce cup of coffee pod. And it's supposed to be from the Gitega Hills in Rwanda. So in reading this, it says that, again, from Rwanda, supposed to be an 8-ounce pod. The tasting notes are supposed to be jam, ripe fruit, and caramel. I don't know if that other one was supposed to have some notes of caramel. I don't know if I really tasted that, at least from what I'm remembering, I didn't. But definitely fruity in the last pod as well. This one is supposed to be very light, an intensity 3 out of 11. So, again, I'm feeling like they're going to end up being a little bit the same, but we'll see. And then the description is, if coffee were a concerto, this coffee from Gitega Hills, Rwanda, would be music to your ears. The beautiful washed Arabica beans from Gitega Hills, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, are a long-time favorite for Blue Bottle Coffee. Nespresso and Blue Bottle have come together as an ensemble to reinterpret the brew for the Virtuo system. A delicate and complex coffee emerges, singing with sweet caramel and jammy ripe fruit notes. Finally, subtle white flower notes make the coffee to charm any palate. Wow, that's really interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard of white flower in a coffee, so that's really interesting. I don't know about you, but I say we crack this baby open. Again, the actual box itself, very like beautiful, very clean. I do love the Blue Bottle Coffee logo. I've had it a couple of times, like I said in my last video, but they don't have any local shops here where I'm living. Okay, so again, very much like the other pod right off the bat, but this one, instead of being like, I guess, known as the #1 single origin, this one says the Gitega Hills, Rwanda on the back of it. So maybe they are supposed to be very different, but it does have a very similar design on top of the pods, that beautiful bright blue from Blue Bottle Coffee, so that's really nice. Okay, y'all, I think that's it for the box, but I am excited to give it a taste test and review, so let's brew it. Wow, that smells like really acidic and fruity and kind of sour. Have you tried this? Yeah, that smells like a weird mixture of earthy and sour, and it's kind of fun, but also kind of throwing me. So that's different. I don't think I've smelled that exact smell in any other pot before. So I'm excited to try it. I say we get into it. Yeah, that is a whole lot of jamminess right at the beginning of the palate. But I do like that it doesn't leave you with like a really like weird aftertaste or anything like that. I think that the jamminess is just the right amount without it becoming acidic, if that makes sense. And I think that it's not bitter at all. It is also really, really light, which is nice because if you're one of those people that just really likes to drink their coffee plain, I think this is a really nice fit for you because even though it's like a light cup of coffee, it doesn't like taste like it's watered down or like watered down dirt or anything like that. I also think that it does have a nice earthiness to it in the aftertaste, which I think will help it hold up really, really well to an iced format of beverage. You guys know I'm an iced gal through and through, and so my biggest concern when I have very light roasted coffees like this is that I'm so worried that it's going to end up tasting like watered down dirt, or it's just not going to taste very good because all the flavor with it being hot and all the aromatics and everything is just not going to be there once I put it over ice, which tends to happen with a lot of cups of coffee. It's very natural, but I do think that the earthiness and that smidge of boldness that this cup of coffee has is really nice and would be nice over ice if you are an ice person like myself. So I'm actually really excited and interested to try this in a nice format. And so I think I'm going to with you guys because like might as well. So yeah, I say we put this over ice and I'm going to taste it just plain. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit of like sweetener or creamer or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to have this as. It's the flavor profiles remind me of a whole lot. I honestly think it would be good with just vanilla, but let me put this over ice, see where I'm at, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I brewed another one of the Blue Bottle coffee pods, let them chill for a little bit, and then I put them over ice. So let's give it a taste. Wow. This acidity, the sourness, the fruitiness went from like here in the warm cup of coffee to like this much in the cold cup of coffee. It has become instantly more acidic, sour, and fruity, which is it's like kind of complex, kind of nice, but I do think that the caramel has completely gone away. I think the caramelly notes kind of got overpowered by the fruitiness once you put it over ice. Definitely in comparison to it being cold, I can see how the hot version of the coffee is a little bit more caramel. I'm so glad I decided to do this because usually I don't always like put it over ice and taste it plain like this, but it's definitely very different. It gives it a whole new flavor profile, which I actually kind of like, but it's almost like a little bit too much. Like it kind of makes you want to pucker, like you're eating or tasting on like a lemon or lime, which I find really interesting. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. It's definitely a little bit different in my humble opinion, but tasting it like this and tasting it warm, I think overall I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not crazy about this pod. I don't think it's bad. I actually kind of like it hot. I think it would be a really nice addition. Again, if you're one of those people that really likes to have plain cups of coffee in the morning, I think it would be a really nice pod to have. I think it's very refreshing like this, but again, I'm one of those people that likes to put cream, sugar in my coffee. I know, sue me. I don't know, but all I know is that I would not drink this coffee like this. It's a little bit too much for me, surprisingly, but it's still pretty light and refreshing in addition to it being kind of like sour and acidic. So take that with what you will. I think it's gonna be a solid 6 out of 10 for me, keeping it that way. But with that rating and review out of the way, I say we make a cute little recipe with this, and I'm thinking I'm gonna try it with my ube syrup. I know, sounds a little bit crazy, but just wait. I think it'll be good. So I think I'm gonna do ube syrup and some cream. I'll be back at you. Yo, she's beautiful, she's snatched, she's gorgeous. She has a nice golden color to her. You guys already know, when coffee has that nice golden color to it, you know it's gonna be a good one. You know it's gonna be a good one. And I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited. Okay, let's give it a taste. Y'all, what can I say? It is so good. I really didn't expect the ube to be this good with it because my ube syrup is a little bit tart, but also very sweet. I think I reviewed it in one of my previous videos. It's one that I don't think I'm gonna buy again, and I've been struggling to get through, but the tartness of the pod, it's actually really nice with the tartness of the ube syrup. And I think that because the ube syrup is a little bit sweet as well, it just balances it out really nice with the half and half to kind of make it creamy, kind of tone down that, you know, acidity, that sourness, that fruitiness into something that just really comes together harmoniously. I know these hand motions, man, I don't know what I'm doing. But it feels like a symphony with my hands and in my mouth. So I understand what they meant by the concerto. I'm all for it. There's a lot going on the palate right now, but I think that the ube syrup really just, it makes it really nice. The creaminess of the half and half, I think, really makes it nice. I think that making this cup of coffee creamy is probably the key to kind of tone down a lot of the sourness and stuff. So now that the Zuby show is over, thank you, Sammy. I would love to know what you guys think of this pod. Again, my review is a solid 6 out of 10. I do think that $2.20 per pod is a whole lot of money to spend. So that's like over $20 a sleeve. I think I could justify paying that much if I really like the pod, but in my opinion, I just don't think this is necessarily my cup of tea, cup of coffee, so to say. But generally, I think that I would probably go for even a cheaper third party or just another type of Nespresso pod. I do really like this recipe, and if you guys have tried this, let me know what your review of the pod is, and let me know, most importantly, what recipes you guys are really, really liking, because I'm really trying to get through my syrups, really trying to get through my coffees, so I would really enjoy any sort of recommendations you guys have, so I can get through a little bit of my stash. I'll be honest, I really don't have much coffee left over. I'm trying to get through most of my coffee before the move. Me and TJ are moving out of state with our wonderful kitties this summer, so I can start back school again. So I'm interested to see if there's any like third parties out there that you guys are really enjoying. I would love some recommendations so that I can just buy like cheaper coffee and have that on hand throughout the move or during the move. So please let me know what you guys enjoy, and maybe I can review some of those third parties on the channel. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all the support you guys have for the channel. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys in the next couple of weeks. Bye, guys.